I won an Emmy, and this is what I said.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for this. Thank you so much.
Alright, so this video is about how I overcame imposter syndrome that I've been dealing with my entire life, featuring my first Emmy. Ever since I started my film journey, I've always faced immense imposter syndrome, always questioning, do I deserve to be given these opportunities? Do I deserve to be in these rooms? Do I deserve to have the trust of people with their time and talent? You know, as the projects have gotten bigger, that imposter syndrome has only grown larger because I keep thinking, you know, am I actually talented or is this just all massive luck? So earlier last year, I produced a show through my job at Light Switch Video, shout out to the best colleagues in the world, called Mardi Gras for All Y'all. And Mardi Gras for All Y'all is a 2-hour online show featuring band performances, segments of museums, restaurants, local establishments, and introductions that we managed to get from Today co-anchor Hoda Kotb and ESPN analyst Cooper Manning. And after the show aired, my boss was like, hey Andrew, would you want to submit this to the Emmys? And of course, the imposter syndrome, it comes back, and I'm just like, I mean, if you think that we can submit it to the Emmys, sure, but I honestly wasn't expecting much out of it because that just wasn't something that I thought that I could really accomplish at this point in my career. I thought it was a long shot, like even if I got nominated, what would be the chances of actually winning an Emmy? But my boss really insisted that we try applying, so we sent in a few segments to the Suncoast Emmys, which is the regional chapter of the larger Emmys organization, and they recognize television that's done in basically the Suncoast region, so like Louisiana, like Alabama, you know, through Florida and Puerto Rico. And so then 3 months pass by, and the nominations list gets released, and I get nominated for an Emmy. I was just like, holy shit. Holy shit, holy shit, holy shit. With that came the imposter syndrome, that it's like, okay, well, you know, maybe you just got lucky. Maybe you just happened to be in a category where not many people submitted, and that's the reason you got a nomination. And it just kept coming back, and it kept really pushing me down and really trying to convince me that, again, even though I know I worked my ass off, I know I did a lot of things to make that show happen, that it was still some massive stroke of luck that I was getting this recognition. So then, fast forward 2 months later, we fly out to Orlando, Florida for the show, and the day of the Emmy show, I am nervous as hell. I had drinks at brunch, y'all, which I really thought like a little buzz might do something to just like help me like calm down. It did nothing. I was still nervous as hell. So then we went and we suited up and we got ready to go to the show, and the show was a time for many reasons, like not even imposter syndrome related, just so many things happened, starting with an interview that I did with Univision anchor Sandra Peoples. I remember I was about to dig into a vegetarian egg roll when my twin Adrian, he tapped me on the shoulder. He's like, oh my God, Sandra Peoples is over there. She wants you to come over and do an interview. And then he kind of like shoved me in that direction. And I was like, oh no, my vegetarian egg roll. No worries, y'all. I still finished the egg roll. That has a happy ending. And I did the interview, and it was a lot of fun, and I really, really enjoyed it. But I remember watching that interview play back. My mother was in the background recording video during the interview. Like, you see, like, the camera guy's actually trying to move her out of the shot so that way she's not in the interview. But that's honestly not the worst thing that happened after the interview concluded. I really thought we were out of the shot at this point, and my twin brother, like, bless him, he was just like, yeah, and then we high-fived, and you can see that in the background of their interview. And yeah, so my family is really, really good at doing this whole Emmys thing. And then an hour before dinner started, there was this server that was bringing around hors d'oeuvres, and he drops the plate with the hors d'oeuvres, and this chili sauce just goes splat everywhere. And I'm like, oh man, y'all. Oh man, this would happen. This would happen, wouldn't it? Took a deep breath. I looked down at my pants. There was chili sauce everywhere. It was all over my pants. It was on my shoes. It was in between the laces even. I went to the bathroom to just try to get as much of it off me as possible. And honestly, part of me thought, like, you know what? Usually a really, really bad thing precedes a really, really good thing. So maybe life was like, okay, Andrew, you're gonna get an Emmy, but you have to get chili sauce in your pants first. And I was like, you know what, life? If that's what needs to happen, then I'm fucking game. Let's do it. So then the show begins. An hour later, they get to my category. and I am nervous as shit at this point. They say the category name, and they say, you know, there were 2 recipients in this category, one for short form, one for long form, and I was in the short form category, so they either had to say the name of my project first, or I didn't win an Emmy. And so then they said, and the first Emmy goes to, and that pause was like the longest pause of my entire life. I know it was only maybe like 3-4 seconds, but it felt like 30. Like I was just, I mean, you can see in the video, like I was just waiting on bated breath. I was just so fucking nervous. And then they said Mardi Gras for all y'all, and in that moment, I mean, oof, that moment, honestly, not even like the speech, not even the stuff that happened afterwards, that moment where I realized I won. That was not only an affirmation of all the work that we've been doing, not just, you know, the work that I've been doing at that job, but the work I've been doing my entire career up until that moment. It was affirmation that, you know, it was going somewhere, that people liked the work that I put out. But also for my imposter syndrome, I mean, I'm not saying I completely crushed it. Like I still, you know, I still deal with it, but like the bigger imposter syndrome that I've been dealing with up until that moment, it got fucking crushed, just smushed in that moment, because in that moment I realized that people looked at my work and nominated it. People looked at my work again and decided it was awards worthy. Like before that Emmy win, the imposter syndrome was this big gigantic beast. After that Emmy win, I mean, it basically became like a cute little chihuahua. It just became, it's still there, but it's so much more manageable now, and I feel like it's something that exists, but it's easier for me to just change the channel now and not feel so affected by it. Yes, after that whole night, I remember celebrating with family, going back to my hotel room, and just really reflecting on that whole night. I mean, not only was it great to win the Emmy, but to have my family there. The people who have literally been there since the very beginning of my journey, to have my twin there, who we've been in this filmmaking journey for 13 years. It felt awesome. I felt worthy for the first time pretty much ever, like fully worthy of this opportunity that had been presented to me, and it really helped affirm that every single opportunity that I've been given up until that moment, you know, getting a manager, making a web series, even the project that we're in development right now, and people who want to work with us, that it's not pure luck, it is hard work that we've put in over those 13 years leading to that moment. I do deserve to be here, I do deserve to take up space, and that's something that I hope that everyone takes away, that yes, you know, learning these skills takes time, but you put in the time, you put in the efforts, your work will get somewhere. And so again, I'm just really thankful to all my friends and family for the support they've given me all these years. And I'm thankful to my boss for believing that this work was Emmy worthy from the beginning. And yeah, I'm just really excited to see where the future goes from here. I also learned that double rainbow was indeed not wrong after all this time. Now you're probably thinking, what does a double rainbow have to do with my Emmy win? Well, I'll save that for another video. But before I go, there's one thing I want to show you real quick. Oh, right, and here it is. Here is my first ever Emmy. So thanks again for watching, guys. Really, really appreciate it. Stay tuned for the next video coming up, and make today a good day.